currently Thursday, and it's like almost 10 o'clock at night. And I was working on stuff and then realized I haven't filmed a video for tomorrow. And I had it like planned out and everything, and then just forgot to film. So I'm filming that now. I'm planning on filming and editing tonight or early tomorrow morning and getting it uploaded. Alright. So, anyways, hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leona. My service dog Aries is laying back here. You can see his paw. He's had a long day. Oh, here he comes. Kind of. Okay. There he is. He's had a long day. We had 3 classes today. And it's a lot. Alright, so this is going to be our pros and cons of owner training. Yeah, this is pros and cons of owner training. If you see me like looking down, I have notes so I don't forget anything. Pros outweigh cons, although some of the cons are pretty big and you need to take both in count. Alright, so I'm not going to babble on because this video will get really long. But anyways, so the first pro is the cost. You can save a lot of money by owner training. I believe programs run about $10,000, if I remember correctly when I was doing my research. So they can get really, really, really costly, while owner training it's not cheap. It's definitely not cheap. It's still going to be thousands of dollars, but it's also not like super expensive. Alright, another thing is like you get exactly what you need, and like nothing more, nothing less. Your dog is literally completely tailored to you, like training wise. So you don't like, programs are pretty good about making sure like everything is trained, or like they don't have like more tasks trained than you need or anything like that, but like your dog is completely tailored to exactly what you want and what you need. So that's like huge pro. Another thing is it's more accessible to those with low income. So I know when I started my service dog journey, I was on like really low income. We weren't exactly like rich, nothing like that. A program was not something we could do. So I adopted a 8-week-old puppy at a shelter for I think $75, and did owner training from there. Taught her taught Belle the basics by myself with my dad, and then with that also did like got help from a trainer for tasks because I had no idea where to start for that. The next thing is you pick the dog you want, as long as like they're a good prospect. But this means you can go and get the perfect breed. Like most programs will stick to Goldens, Labs, or Poodles, Fab 3. Some will add in a Shepherd, some will add in Collies. So that's like the top 5 breeds that you'll see for service work. But with me, I went and got a Malinois. You have that capability of picking the breed that fits your lifestyle the best and the dog that fits your lifestyle the best, as long as they are a good prospect for service work. The next thing is you can go with a rescue dog if you find a dog with a good temperament. So I've said this before, Belle was a shelter dog, Aries was a rescue. I had that liberty because I picked them out, which is what is important. You're able to decide on what dog you want, as I said before, but you can go with the rescue route. especially if you don't have the money for a breeder. Now, the washout rate is extremely high if you do that, but you have that option. Another thing is a multi-purpose service dog. So this is medical alert and response, like with Aries, medical alert and response, psychiatric, and mobility. He's 3 different, well, technically, okay. If you want to get technical, he's 5 different types of types of service dogs, or six different types of service dogs. But I group stuff together, so it's 3, but either way, he's multi-purpose. And that's something that you can't really get with a breeder. You have a medical dog, you have a mobility dog, you have your psychiatric dogs, you have your guide dogs. Most of the time a guide dog isn't going to be trained to do psychiatric tasks or medical tasks, all that kind of stuff, or vice versa. Another thing is the bond. You start really young. You start somewhere between, if you get it from a breeder, you start it from somewhere between 8 to 16 weeks. With a rescue, you start at whatever age you get the dog, but you still get the dog, and from the moment you get it, you start working on that bond, which is so important. And honestly, I think that you have such a strong bond with the dog when you get it as a puppy, or you get it even as an older dog and you teach it how to trust people again, all that kind of stuff. Another thing is you have the choice of getting help. So you have the choice of going with what trainer you want, when you want. If you know how to teach a dog basics and you know spot on how to teach any breed basics, or you're very familiar with a breed and that's the breed that you get, you can teach it all its basics and then find a dog for task, find a trainer for task work and then go and talk to them when you need to. Or you can have a dog that, you could know how to do task work but not have any idea how to do basics. Or how to teach some basics and some tasks, but not all the tasks you need. So you can decide, if you need a trainer the whole time, if you need a trainer some of the time, you can just go talk to a friend, anything like that, like a friend that knows what they're talking about, knows what they're doing. All that. So you have liberty to do what you want, when you want, with your dog. It's another pro is it's so rewarding to see the dog grow. To see that dog, the light bulb moment, when you're a puppy and it finally clicks that they're supposed to heel on a leash, or, sit means their butt touches the ground, or, when you're starting task work and it's you see one of the tasks finally click, and that is the most rewarding thing that I can think about having, training your own service dog, because you don't see that when you have a program dog. You just see this dog that's fully trained come to you and it's okay, dog knows what it's doing. You never see this stuff click in their mind, The other thing is it gives you something to do and to keep your mind on. So, let's say you're not in the best place, or sometimes you'll get into a bad place, but not bad enough that you can't take care of your dog. You still can. You're able to really think about it and know that your dog needs to be trained. He needs to, he or she needs to be taken care of. It keeps your mind on something, Every single day you have to you have to take care of this dog. Every single day you have to train this dog, or else it's not going to learn anything. So yeah, that's all I have for pros. Alright, so next I have cons. Alright, so first con I have is it's very, very, very very hard. You have to keep up the motivation every day to get up and train that dog. You have to, for every step you take forward, you're going to take like 5 or 6 steps back. Everybody thinks that dog training is like this, when in all actuality it's like this, and then like that, and then like that, and then back down. It's a whole roller coaster, with the lows being, down here, way, way, way down here, and the highs being here, sometimes up here, but most of the time it's about here, and then the lows just boop, so yeah. The other thing is there's a higher chance of washing out. So washing means the dog doesn't make it as a service dog. It's not cut out for it. With owner training, that rate is so high. And then on top of it being high, it's also like it gets even higher when you get a dog from a rescue or from a shelter, because especially like an older dog, because you don't know their past. You don't know what's happened. They could have not been socialized correctly and been this perfect little angel at the shelter because they're trying to get out, and then turn into, a really aggressive, scary dog, or, have fears that you can't work through, and that can be really hard. Another thing is it takes lots of time. You have to take time out of every single day, and I cannot say that enough. This is an everyday training thing, and train your dog. If you've got, like, for example, me, I have class on Tuesdays and Thursdays. My classes don't end until 5, sometimes later, just depending on like what is going on. Sometimes I don't get to my dorm until like 7 or 8, and then I've got homework, and then I crash. Tuesdays and Thursdays I don't do much other than school, but somewhere in there during the day I still find time to train Aries, even if it's just a 5-minute training session, something, and that's on top of the fact that he's worked all day. Be it in between classes is usually what I do, where we do like a small, short, little training session. The next thing is you can be too disabled. So this means, there is a chance that you are, if you're getting a service dog, you have to be disabled. That's literally like the biggest thing that makes it a service dog. The training and the fact that it's the handler is disabled. So they have for me, with my POTS, with my asthma, with just physical disabilities, I'm not able to take care of a puppy. I can't give it the time. I don't have the energy, all that kind of stuff to give it the training and the work that a puppy needs. Now, a year-old dog that's kind of mellowed out, like Aries has, he's still extremely high energy, but he's mellowed out, is a lot easier for me, and doesn't take as much like work and effort and everything else. And I know that leads to my next thing, is your disability can get in the way. So like with Aries, somebody had to train him up until he was a year, or about a year. I got him a little bit before he was a year old, but still about a year, before I could take care of him, because I knew I couldn't do a puppy. I couldn't do that energy level. I couldn't do all of the struggle that came with a puppy. The potty training, the waking up every 2 hours at least, or I guess I should say at most every 2 hours in the night to take the dog out, taking them out every 30 minutes to an hour during the day, or, for some puppies 15 minutes, just depending, just constantly that in and out, that up and down, that all that work, that was not something I was able to do, and I knew it. My disability got in the way of having that strong bond that I had with Belle, and the only reason I had that is because of how young I started with her. The other thing is mistakes. So this is really, like, I think one of the biggest things is, like, especially if it's your first service dog that you're training, you can make so many mistakes. You could, mess up on what you're teaching. You could do this, you could do that, and honestly, screw both yourself and your dog over in the end. And there's no way around it. Like, that's just what's gonna happen. And no, it's not fun, it's not good, it's honestly a sucky experience, but it is a risk that you take with any owner training. Another thing is it's really hard to meet other teams. So when you're like with a program, your dog's graduating with a bunch of other dogs. You're bound to meet a handler in your area. When you're doing training classes, like constant training classes, then you're gonna meet, like, in an actual service dog place, you're gonna meet another service dog team, at least one. But it is so hard to meet other service dog teams, especially, like, if you, like, reach out to people online, and people can be hostile in the community. And, there can be people that are, like, right next to you, and that they're in your area, and they will lash out at you because they know you're in the area. And, can jump on, oh, you're stalking, you're doing this, all this stupid crap. And that's just a sad reality. Another thing is people are really uneducated. I don't know how many times I've gotten that Aries is a fake or Belle was a fake, because they were fully or partially owner trained. Where people will be like, I've walked into places and they're like, well, this person had this ID that said that this person, like, trained their dog. And I'm like, yeah, well, they're an owner trained dog. Well, whatever. That's not how this works. You can't do that. Yeah, I can by federal law, but whatever you say. So that's something that is a huge struggle. Another thing is the training, like, just training in general could not be for you. Like, you could just not be cut out to do dog training. And that's not anything against anybody or anything like that. There's just, there's people that are meant to be engineers, and there's people that are not. There's people that are meant to, be doctors, and there's people that are not. It's just like, there's people that are meant to do dog training, and there's people that are not. That's how it is. And, you could be halfway through training and then realize you can't do anymore because you can't figure out how to do it, and you have no idea what you signed up for, that's something that's big and can really affect it. Alright, so that's all I have for pros and cons of owner training. I know this was a lot shorter than, like, pros and cons of service dogs, and there was a lot less, but this isn't something that, like, could get really into depth on, because this is just how I see it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe down below if you did, and comment on any video requests you have. I'd love to hear them and to try and film them. I'm working on a few training videos. I know somebody asked for one on how to teach heel, and I've been working on that. I'm just trying to make sure that I get all the, like, right stuff to actually, like, help and it not just be a thrown together thing. I'm also working on a few other little training tutorial video things. And yeah, so that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and bye!